Hello, hello, hello. How are you this morning? I hope that you can hear me okay and that you can see me okay. Please let me know in the comments if the audio is okay over here. Hi, Renuka. Good morning. So good to see you. Hi, Evelina. So lovely to see you here. Happy Friday, everyone, and also happy spring equinox. How exciting. Well, certainly for us in the northern hemisphere. For those in the southern hemisphere, happy autumn equinox. Yes, I believe so. Yay, good, all good. Hi, Lorna, good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am just gonna get our background music going. Please let me know if you can hear that and if it is too loud, too soft, or Goldilocks just right. I got all the tech that we have to sort out. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our weekly Friday doodle session. I'm very excited about this little pocket of peace and glad to be sharing it with you. Music is good. Okay, great. Thank you, Lorna. Renuka, I just got Procreate and playing around with it. Yay! I am so excited for you. It is going to open up your world. I will say, which pencil setting do I use? So which brush do I use? I vacillate. I have many, many different brushes that I use, and you will find on your early Procreate journey that you kind of go down a rabbit hole of brushes. And yeah, so good luck with that. For my doodling, I do generally use let me just see what it is called because I can't think of it right now, the monoline one. But today I'm feeling experimental and I'm going to be using the dry ink one. These are both inherent brushes with Procreate. So yeah, I do get very excited about Procreate. But of course, if you're not a digital doodler and you're an analog doodler, you are so welcome to explore and play with all of your analog creation devices, papers and pens and pencils. And to be quite honest, I take my hat off to our analog doodlers because that is a special kind of mark making and art making. Yeah, I feel like because of the digital nature of the drawing apps, there is kind of a non-commitment because we can undo, whereas when you're doing things on paper with pen, well, I guess with pencil you can undo, but with pen that is yeah, I think it's like a next level of commitment to your doodling, to your practice. So I tip my hat to our analog doodlers. Jessica, hi, welcome, good to see you. Thank you for joining this morning. Yay. So lovely. I have to tell you, so I consider myself fairly introverted, and the older I've gotten, the more introverted I realize I am, and how I have always tried very consciously, I guess, to be more extroverted than I am. But this kind of interaction is, it's for me kind of like the Goldilocks zone. Because it is interaction with real people, but I don't get peopled out. I don't know if anybody can relate, but I'm just realizing that peopling is a high energy activity, and I get peopled out quite quickly. And this is just beautiful. This is the perfect amount of energy exchange for me personally. I know everybody's not the same, but yeah, that's just where I am. Trish, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Jessica, did you have your visit to Massachusetts? Yes, I did. I did indeed. Last week I did our doodling session from Massachusetts in a beautiful, I don't even know what to call it, like a farmhouse. Yeah, let's call it a farmhouse, a beautiful big farmhouse. and I was looking after chickens and a barn cat and a couple of indoor cats, and we took a drive to Amherst, and we went to the Emily Dickinson Museum, which was amazing, and I've got her book of poetry here. Never in my life did I think that I would get to go to Emily Dickinson's actual house. That's just insane to me. So still digesting that. It was amazing. Really, really lovely part of the country. Gosh, I could see myself in a cabin in the woods there, in the hills, among the trees. Just amazing. Lorna, you can relate. Okay, good. I'm glad. Oh, we are among friends. I love it. Jessica, you can also relate. Fantastic. Ellen, good morning. I'm so glad that that resonated with you as well. Was it in the Berkshires or the Berkshires? I don't know, to be honest. It was in like a little rural area between the small villages of Ashfield and Shelburne Falls. I don't know if that's in the Berkshires, but yeah, that's where we were. Oh, you went to UMass. My goodness, we saw that. Lovely campus. Gosh. Yay, hi CJ. Yay, yay, yay from Northern California. I hope you're all feeling the spring vibes today. DC is definitely showing off and is just on time, on cue, and the cherry blossoms are starting to make an appearance, so it feels very apt that, yeah, new beginnings, fresh new start. I wonder, are you feeling like that energy of emerging after a cold winter? Yeah, it's interesting. I've been delving a little bit into human design. I don't know if anybody here explores human design, but there's a concept of our own personal seasons, which I absolutely love, because the theme of seasons and cycles really resonates for me and has actually been critical in quietening a lot of my anxious thought patterns, because there's a release of control and need to hold on tight to circumstances or the status quo when I embrace the idea that there are seasons in life. And so in the human design exploration, there's a concept of internal seasons, and everybody's pattern, sequence of seasons is unique to them. And so I, in my studies, have discovered that my internal summer season coincides with the external winter season. And this week that really landed for me, because I realized when I'm not outside adventuring because it's too cold and I'm in my little bubble indoors, that's actually when I'm most productive and most creative, and it aligns completely with my internal summer energy. And now that we are in external spring and I'm starting to go outside more and take more walks and go running more, and so I'm not as anchored to my creation station here because I'm out in the sunshine. And internally, that is a venturing into my own personal autumn, where we start to harvest the fruit of our summer labor. And funnily enough, it completely correlates with all of the structures and systems that I set up during my personal summer. And now I'm easing into okay, let's go and harvest now. Let's get into the rhythm of things. Let's gather the fruit of that labor during the summer. So just an interesting concept. Maybe it resonates for you and is an idea to contemplate. Oh, is my voice very low? Okay, let me turn that up. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Really need your input. Okay, music is going down. Let me know. Is that better? Can you still hear the music? And can you hear my audio? Let me know if that is better. Or maybe I just need to speak up quicker. I mean louder. Lovely. Okay, so, okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that feedback. So Trish, you walked a labyrinth with your daughter and grandson yesterday to bring in spring. Oh my goodness. Wow. I love that. So lovely. Let's see. Fully spring here. Trees in flower, leafing out, fresh and green. Grapevines vary, but bud break happening. Fantastic. Such a great energy. Hi Inga, good to see you. Hi Florgie. Welcome. Okie dokie. Yes, so many friends here. I love it. And if you are new here, welcome. We are a growing group of friends that get together on a weekly basis to do some mindful doodling. We have alternate themes for the week. On alternate weeks, we do an alphabet-themed doodle session, and then the other alternating week is general creativity. So before we get into our doodling session for today, and I show you what it is that we are going to be creating, I am going to draw our card. Can you still hear the music? Just let me know, because like as a what's the word? Sensory experience, the music is very important. Okay, cool. So let us draw our card for an additional focal point or concept to contemplate for this week, for this day, for this hour, for this particular moment. And here we go. Stuctitude. That's a word I've never heard before. I don't know if I'm... Can you see that? Stuctitude. Is that the right way round for you? I hope it is. So stuctitude. It's okay to get stuck sometimes. What matters is not that I am stuck, but what I get to learn from this position. I know that I have the ability to shift the state and will continue to apply myself to this. Oh, it's backwards for you. Sorry. I've had some technical issues, and that's clearly something that I will need to sort out. In fact, I can sort it out right now if you will just give me a moment. That's my right hand. Okay. Let us try and sort this out. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave it for now, and I'll just sort it out for next week. But stuctitude is the word. So to repeat, it's okay to get stuck sometimes. What matters is not that I am stuck, but what I get to learn from this position. I know that I have the ability to shift this state and will continue to apply myself to this. So I think spring is a great nudge, a great external catalyst to unstuck ourselves and get ourselves into movement and flow. And I've definitely been feeling that. Like the sunshine and the greenery outside is inviting us to get out there and be more active. So yes, absolutely. For you is mostly the good way for us. Okay. All right. I will sort that out for next time. In the meantime, let us start with our breathing exercise, just to welcome in the present moment, to get centered and grounded for our doodle session, to notice our breath. And let me get the view. Hopefully this is the right way around for you. It probably isn't. Oh no, there we go. It is the right way around for you. Now you can see stuctitude correctly, hopefully. Can you see that? There we go. Okay, so this is the important screen. Okay, great. This is the important screen to be the right way up. I'm going to put this over here as our reminder. All right, so our breathing exercise. So grabbing your pen and paper or your drawing device, whatever it is that you're drawing on today. This is going to be a separate piece of paper to the main doodle page that we do. And it's just to get ourselves grounded. And these will be familiar if you have been on these sessions before, but we're going to do the up and down breath doodle. So for every in breath, we're going to go up We're going to hold and pause at the top as we go round, and then for every exhalation we come down. And go for the duration of your breath, and then pause at the bottom and curve, and then so we go. So let us get grounded, and I'm doing the same thing, so I won't verbally guide you, but just be guided by your own breath and your own mark making. Okay, so here we go, in breath. Okay. And as you reach the end of your page, hopefully you feel grounded, ready, present. Your hand is a little bit more warmed up. Feel it in your shoulders as well. The thing about doodling is that it is a fully a physical experience. It's both your body, but it's also your mind and your breathing. Everything is interconnected. And so as we pay attention to one thing, maybe we're paying attention to our hand, our breathing gets affected. Maybe we're paying attention to our breath, our stroke of our hand gets affected. If you've got pain in your shoulder, your drawing is going to be affected by that. So it's a full awareness, full mind-body awareness. Okay, so today, being the week where we are not doing alphabet, we are doing random, inspired, creative shapes and forms, but still with the underlying premise of our doodle designs and patterns. For this week, I was inspired by the concept of mountains, and this is essentially what we are aiming for. We're doing a mountain design. So we've got the different peaks of a mountain, and as you know, we use the wheel to help us determine how many different doodle patterns we're going to do. And so the wheel will tell us how many mountain peaks we are going to create on our page today. If you're unfamiliar, if you're new here, you'll see what I mean shortly when we crack out the wheel. But basically it is a way for us to just take a break from decision making, adulting, decision fatigue, and we leave it to chance. In fact, we leave it to a creation wheel to tell us what we are doing today. The invitation stands. It's a standing invitation throughout the session that if you're not inspired by what the wheel is suggesting we do, please go ahead and do your own thing. This is your time, it is your doodle session, and this is not a dictatorship. So this is merely giving you a break, an invitation to just not make a decision and to just be guided. But by all means, follow your own intuition. I'm learning more and more the value of the power of our intuition. And the more we practice listening to that intuition, the easier it becomes to hear it. So, Ellen, yes, you love the mountains. Yes, such a mountain girl, me, and clearly that is reflected. Now, before we move on, an interesting technique that also kind of, it felt like a inspired, spark of inspiration, was I was playing with some shadows on the mountain sketch here, and it's just literally messy marks, messy lines, if you can see that there. Just doing messy lines over the designs, because I thought I wanted to just see what it came out like if I were to add some shadows and in the doodle work. And it was an interesting observation, because on the one hand my ego was saying I don't want to ruin my initial design, which is like a red flag for attachment, and we need to constantly flex our muscle of detachment, and being okay with ruining our creations sometimes, because, well, not everything goes our way, and that's a lesson that we can carry on in life. And sometimes, we experiment and it doesn't work out according to what we expected. But then what came to me as I was kind of doing this shadow work, if you like, and for those of you in the spiritual self-awareness practice, shadow work is a theme and a practice that comes up a lot. It made me realize that when we kind of delve into paying attention to the shadows, oftentimes the light becomes more obvious. The sides without the shadows becomes more prominent. And that in order to also see the different layers, to create depth, to create clarity, sometimes we have to go more densely into the shadows. Sometimes we have to make those shadows darker. We have to look into the shadows more deeply so that we can get clarity of the overall picture. So I thought that was quite a cool metaphor or analogy. And perhaps if we get there in today's 90-minute session, we'll dabble with some shadow, lines, and it's just messy, scratchy, hatching. But yeah, we'll see. I just wanted to put it out there, and certainly something that I would, for my personal doodle practice, will be delving deeper into. Jessica, did you spend much time at Table Mountain when in South Africa? It looks so beautiful. I did. In fact, I lived on the foothills of Table Mountain in a very bohemian neighborhood called Observatory. And so I would walk out the door and there's this huge mountain, and I loved walking up, doing hikes up to the top of Table Mountain and down again. It took about 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours, depending. And it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful mountain. And it's something very grounding. In fact, that I notice here where we currently live, that the lack of mountains. It's very flat here. And I'm conscious, I notice that. For me, mountains are just amazing, majestic, places on earth. So this is what we are doing today. So grab your pen and paper, and I'm going to get our wheel up to see how many mountain peaks are we going to be working with. And I have reduced the number of options on this because I feel like the more the merrier. So 6, we're going to do 6 different mountain peaks. I'll stick with this color. Okay, so anywhere on your page, and you can decide whether you want to do this vertically or horizontally, completely up to you. But you can just start with doing some mountain peaks. And they kind of layer. So we're doing 6 different mountain peaks. They can be loose. Okay, mine's a little bit more hilly. There is no perfect here. It is all about the process. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it. Okay, and now we are going to go and determine which patterns we're going to start doing. As a reminder, if you want to get your hands on the reference sheet that I'll be using, there's a link in my teacher profile, so you can go there. It is on Substack, and you would just need to create an account on Substack to get access to it, but that's all you need to do. You can get it and go. Okay, so column B and row 15. Okay, now column B, row 15. So for your reference, this is the reference sheet, column B, row 15. Oh, that's so funny because that's the exact one I started with in the example one. Now I just want to see if I can do this for you. Oh, wrong one. Hit the wrong button. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So B15 was... Where was it? There. That's the design that we're doing. So can you see that? That should be visible to you. This is the one we're busy with. So it is kind of like these florally designs. For me, that feels very appropriate for the front of your picture. So within your front peak, we can put these florally designs. Completely up to you if you want to put it all the way in your peak or just down at the bottom. That's how I did it on my previous one, and then you fill in the rest of the peak with vertical lines. Okay. Oh yes, that's my dishwasher, Jessica. I'm sorry. It's just finished its cycle. The beeping is my dishwasher. Okay. It should keep quiet now. Okay. You try and get these things like not to bother you, or not to happen, but yeah, it's all good. Okay. So we're starting off with drawing these little floral designs, and they've got 3 different iterations. So you kind of make the big one and then a smaller one on the inside and then smaller one still, and you can vary the size. And also you can make it as if they go behind each other if you wanted to. I always feel a little bit rusty on the first design, and there's a definite process of warming up as we're getting into our doodling. For me at least. I wonder if you feel the same. You do have very good ears then, Jessica, if you could hear my dishwasher all the way from where you are. And just allow your hand to flow. The smaller your pen is, the finer your doodles will be, and perhaps the more doodles you'll need to do to fill the space. Or you can just go bigger with your patterns. And just allow yourself to focus on where you are right now, what you're doing right now. And yes, what you're hearing right now. With the spring activities, maybe it's a bit noisier outside for you as well. The gardeners are out, people are out, dogs walking. And so for this pattern, we're going to fill in, color in the innermost petal shape. This is a new brush, as I mentioned, that I'm using, and it kind of has a pencil or a crayon kind of feel, and I'm really liking it. It's feeling very organic. So based on our card and the stuctitude, maybe think about, call to mind, where this week did you feel stuck? And is it something that you can choose to start letting go, inviting looseness? Oh, I've got the maintenance man knocking on a neighbor's door. Oops. When you've got all of your petals, we then start doing these little stamens, or I'm not sure what you'd call them. And then when you're finished with that, this one feels like it's gone very quickly for me. You're going to outline everything that you've created. Giving it like a halo. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, okay, Jessica, you feel the same with the first design being tougher than getting into the flow. Yeah, it's definitely the warm-up. Definitely the warm-up pattern. Good about your hearing, you just had it checked. I was having blocked ears and thought I was losing my hearing. Nope, you've got very good hearing. Florgy, I'm at a camp near a thermal bath setting in the spring sunshine. That sounds divine, Florgy. Wow. Where is that? Still in Hungary? I'd be very interested to know. Okay, and once you've got your florally accents done, we're gonna do some vertical lines. Filling the container of this first peak. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just notice your breathing. notice what you're feeling internally. What emotions, what thoughts are coming up. Just notice them without judgment. Okay, so there we go, my first peak. Southeast of Hungary. That sounds beautiful. I'd love to be camping at thermal baths. And how delightful that you can still then join us. That's just amazing. Okay, let me know if your first peak is still ongoing. And then we can move on to the next design. Okay. All right, so if you haven't finished, that's okay. I'm going to get the second peak pattern going. And at least you've got the foundation for this first one. And the invitation is always to allow yourself to come back and complete your patterns after the fact if we don't complete it together. So row 13 and column C. So row 13, column C. Okay. I feel a theme coming on, so that is this one here. Can you see that? So in your second peak, or you can decide whichever peak you want, we're going to start with the leaf shape, and then we do the internal kind of flowy petal shapes, and then again the background is filled with the stripes. Vertical, you could choose to do horizontal if you wanted to. So I'm going to start, and these leaves are also kind of overlapping with each other. And they go in different directions, so feel free to move your page around. And it's kind of like a big pile of leaves. Remembering to breathe. And there can be different shapes and sizes. Okay, so once you've got your leaf shapes there, then down each center, I'm going to draw a line. That's our main vein. Notice how hard you're holding your pen and how hard you're pushing into your surface. Relax it if you feel called to. And invite ease. Invite flow. Check your posture. Adjust your body if you need to. Oh, is the audio quite crackly? Is it my voice or the music that is crackly? It's not crackly for me, but maybe some white noise. I don't have earbuds in. I apologize for the noisiness. Let me try and bring my microphone closer. That might help. Sometimes the music itself on this jazz, sometimes that has a little bit of like background fuzz, for lack of a better word. Might be that. And if we think of mountains, what do they represent for you? For me, they represent majesty, as I've mentioned, that they're just so majestic. And I love how they change throughout the day, that just the way that the light lands on them changes what they look like. For a time, a couple of years ago, we lived in a semi-arid desert out in South Africa, and there was a mountain range in the distance, and we would marvel at how the many different faces of a mountain. It's the same mountain, but depending on the day, it looked different, depending on how the light landed on it. And it represents, to me, mountains represent groundedness, sturdy, strong. They've been here for millennia. They are of the earth. Power, majesty, goals, conquering them, for example. Yes, that's a good one. Yes, Florgie, how tiny I am. Yes, oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like a sense of awe. And I adore their silence, yes. And calmness, and yet so alive. Oh my goodness, that just gives me goosebumps. Absolutely. Oh. They're just always there, steadfast. And yes. The silence. So mountains are a very real way, like you say, Florgie, to realize how small we are in the grand scheme of things. And yeah, that the so-say problems that we think we have are tiny compared. There's an entire universe, an entire world, and on our planet alone, there are things so much bigger than us. There's a reverence with mountains. Yes, Jessica, I feel similarly to the ocean with how small I am. Yes. but small in a good way. Like it can sound sometimes, right? It can sound like we're diminishing our significance, but it's not. It's that we are part of something much bigger than us. Such a good reminder when we are in the throes of a circumstance that we're feeling is overwhelming us, to be reminded of, hey, there are these things right there, right now. They are truly big. Gives perspective. Nature does that, gives us perspective. Feel the calmness. And when you've done all of your internal petal shapes, we're then going to fill in the negative space, the gaps in between. And again, speaking to the shadow work, notice how when you're filling in these gaps with a darker ink or pencil, so the light parts become more noticeable. So in life, it's not about just being happy and content all the time. It's about noticing the value that, well, the less comfortable experiences or emotions or thoughts, they kind of outline the good. They give definition to the light parts. They help us see the light parts more easily, more clearly. So it's actually good. It's part of the beauty of life. Thank you for the love. Notice what your other hand is doing while your dominant hand is drawing. Is it holding on to anything? Is it tight? Okay, and when you have filled in all the gaps, the next section is, or the next part of this is to do vertical lines here in the background, like we did previously. Thank you, Jessica. I did have an issue this week with these live sessions, in that I wasn't sure that this live session was going to happen today, but thankfully here we are. There was a technical thing on the back end. But as with everything, when it all works out, then we appreciate it even more. There you go. Okay. So that's our second peak. I'm loving the, what's the word? Similarity in the first two peaks. Right, I'm going to go on to our next one. Keep going with that one if you're still busy. Okay, column B, row 9. Column B, row 9. Florally. Okay, let's get this up on the screen for you. Column B, row 9. This is the one that we're doing. Column B, row 9. Okay, so you can decide if you want to do them straight or curly-whirly, but however you choose, you're going to start with your lines. Start with a few lines to begin with. You can always fill in after the fact. So that's our central vine, if you like. And then we start filling in the leaf part. And notice the meditative quality of the repetition. Maybe your hand is properly warmed up by now. You're in the flow, in the doodle flow. Just notice that. And follow the vine around. Relax your shoulders if they've crept up. And savor being here now in this present moment. Notice what you're doing. Notice the gift that you've given yourself this morning. This break from your day-to-dayness. Notice that there's no expectation here. This is about the process, it is not about the outcome. So again, that is a practice of detachment. You're keeping your body, your mind preoccupied with something that doesn't require you to overthink it. And so that allows your body to relax, your brain to relax, your thoughts to slow down. And maybe it makes room for insight. Okay. And then when you've done your main vines here, you can decide if you want to do some smaller ones in the gaps between. Oops. I did some plant repotting yesterday because I used to identify as a plant killer previously, and I no longer identify as that. I now identify as a plant whisperer of some kind. Although I'm not doing anything consciously, except just paying attention to them. And in my repotting, I just noticed how the roots move according to the shape of the pot, and they find a way, they find space, they find a gap. And it's fluid, snaking around. And then I imagine as I put them into a bigger pot, I imagine them losing that tightness, relaxing their roots, expanding into the bigger space. Isn't that true for us as well? Our environment definitely impacts us. If we don't notice that if we're not paying attention, you may not notice that you're all wrapped up. Curling around yourself, strangling the flow of energy. So, yeah, got to pay attention to outgrowing your environment. And that repotting process, I also feel sometimes very, what's the word? A little concerned that I'm doing more damage in the transfer process, but I remind myself that that has to happen if it's wants any hope of growing. So I might break a few leaves or roots in the process, but ultimately, in the long term, it will be a happier plant. Violet, you're a tech geek, so I have to say I love the display. Are you using OBS or another program? Yes, I'm using OBS. I'm also a tech hobbyist, I would say. I like to tinker with tech. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I do enjoy the exploration and the experimentation. This morning I'm trying something new. And the thing with doing things live is that sometimes the experimentations work and sometimes they don't. Fortunately, this morning it seems to be working. But I've got my iPad, my old iPad set up, and hence I can show the little pattern on the screen at the same time without encroaching on the drawing space. Oh, and I've hooked up Spotify to OBS as well. Just because, got to try new things. Cool. Many issues with OBS. Fortunately, not in a few months. Yes. Oh, there's a whole thing about, OBS is great when it works. Frustrating when it doesn't. But anyway, that's that dance of non-attachment. It is what it is. Trust that you'll figure it out. That's a muscle I constantly get to flex. Okay, so once you've filled the third peak with all your little leafy shapes, the next step of this pattern is, again, let's fill in the shadows. Allow the shadows to make the lighter parts pop. Make the lighter parts more apparent. Bring the pattern to its full potential. Give it definition and clarity. Violet, you do collaborations with other teachers, a Q&A format, and I use OBS to host. Would love to have you join us sometime. I would love that. Thank you. Yes, completely. That's like collaboration is what I am all about. Going back to the human design stuff, it turns out that, I am built for co-creating. I get so much inspiration from others. Just love it. So absolutely, please send me a message, Violet. Oh yay, Jessica, you've been there. An artist one like you did with the musicians. Oh, you've got lots of friends here. Oh, and I'm going to have to go and look. Now I'm curious. Jessica knows I'm careful who to invite, as some teachers were not as receptive, so thank you. I will message you. Fantastic. Yay. That's exciting. Love it. So much to be said about resonance. You have to resonate with somebody. And again, that comes down to your own personal awareness, like noticing, how am I feeling in this moment? I've mentioned before, I do these doodle sessions at my local library every other week. And it's a very different experience doing it live, in person versus online. I mentioned earlier about my peopling and just more aware of that experience. But it's wonderful when you're in a room of people that get it, like are vibing the same. Especially creativity, contagious. I love the contagious nature of creativity. Awesome. I met some of my favorite teachers via Violet's hosting. Oh, that's so cool. Yay. And I love getting to know them in the pro. Violet, you love introducing the community to new teachers. That's awesome. Jessica, being an introvert, I am very tired after my live library sessions. Abigail, yes. Me too. Me too. It is draining. Which is why connecting like this is, for me, is so lovely. It's the Goldilocks zone of connection. I mean, it would be lovely. It would be lovely to, meet everybody in person as well, but I know that I would have to rest. And fortunately, the nature of what we're doing is inherently relaxing. The point of these doodle sessions is to relax our nervous system. So there is that. It's kind of a nice balance. Taking a deep breath. Okay, I believe that is that one done. And I'm going to move on to the next one. Oh, Jessica, you're listening in the background. That's fantastic. I love that. Which is why, for me, the music is also so valuable, because it is the kind of music that you can listen to while you're busy with something else. Okay, so next design, row number 4 and column B. Row number 4, column B. Column B, I feel like we've had a lot of B's. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. Let's get this here. Row number 4, column B. Funnily enough, it was also in my example. I find this very soothing, this shape. Can you see that there? There we go. So in your 4th peak, yes, there's something very soothing about this one. So just start with kind of these layering shapes. I was trying to think of what they look like. They're kind of like waves, but maybe also skin cells, from what I remember of biology at school. What does it look like to you? I'm gonna also start here. And they just overlap each other. Okay, so we start with some random shapes like that, and then we start filling in the lines. So I like to have the kind of exterior line a bit thicker, and then I go more lightly with my pen on the interior. So then just following the line from one point of that container to another. And invariably there's at least one point in each container where all the lines meet. And it kind of also gives a shading effect. I think that's why I like it so much, that it, when the lines converge, it looks like a shaded area, a shadow. Something very fluid about this pattern, relaxing. It's like a braided mountain, yes. It's true. Braids, that's a great analogy. Hi Jennifer, first time, welcome, welcome. So lovely and soothing. Are you working on Procreate? Yes, I am. I most certainly am. Are you a Procreate user? I find it very soothing. I'm really enjoying this new brush that I'm experimenting with. Well, new to me. It's an old brush. Your daughter enjoys Procreate, yeah. It's a very liberating, I find it very liberating creation tool. Our maintenance men are very active today. Don't know if you can hear him knocking on the neighbor's door. Let me just see. Oh gosh. A couple of teachers have recommended Procreate. I wish they had an Android version so I could use it on my Samsung tablet. I know, it doesn't make sense that they don't. I don't get that. But I get the sense that they're pretty slow anyway. There's meant to be some big update, but we've been waiting for several months. Other alternatives, I believe, are Adobe Fresco. I stand to be corrected. And then Jessica, I think you mentioned an app. I don't know if that was an Android one or an Apple one. Alrighty, I love that pattern. That really soothes me. That soothes my soul. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next pattern. Let us see what we are up to. Column A. Row 15. Okay. Column A, row 15. Okay, similar one. Gosh, there's a lot of similarities today. So, on here, row 15. There's a nice cohesive design. So similar concept, except this time we start on the outside with our overlapping shapes and we work our way in as opposed to kind of layering from the top down. And also the shapes are a little less, or they can be a bit more bulky. Okay, and then similar concept, except this time the lines on the interior don't really connect. They remain equidistant from each other, so they don't really join up at any point. But they do follow the curve of the container, so it's still flowy. Just going to catch up on the chat quickly. Oh, sketchbook, yes. I don't know if that is a Android app. Yeah, Procreate is nice. Okay, Fresco is more for desktop, I see. Mandala Maker last night. Ooh, I like mandalas. In fact, I think there will be mandalas in the future here. I think that's a very lovely way of creating with mandalas. Maybe take an internal reading right now and just see on a scale of 1 to 10 how relaxed are you feeling if you are doodling along with us, or if you're just listening in. Jessica, you have to sign off. Thank you so much for joining. Have a lovely weekend and good to see you. Okay, we'll go for our final pattern for the day. We are approaching the end of our time together, so we shall call this complete shortly. So row number 5, column A. Row number 5, column A. Alrighty, and over here, now get it up on the screen for you. Row number 5. There we go. Okay, got that. So we're going to start. These are also kind of overlapping, almost clam shaped or half moon shapes. So start with a base shape. And then we give it a border, each shape. And then within the actual clam shape, then we do the repeating lines. So and you can alternate the lines. I'm going to make alternating rows go in different directions, concave and convex. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh well, doesn't matter. All right. So I have come to the end of mine. That is my completed mountainscape, doodle mountainscape. If you haven't yet finished yours, the invitation stands for you to complete it in your own time. Come back to it if you haven't yet completed it. And when you do complete it, acknowledge that for yourself. Acknowledge that you completed something that you started and take the win. Allow that to build your confidence in completing a task, but also in your doodling. And I hope that you have enjoyed this session. Thank you so much for joining me here. I've thoroughly enjoyed connecting with you all. And I've thoroughly enjoyed doing the doodles here. There we go, back on the screen. And if you would like to get your hands on the reference sheet that I use, go to my teacher profile. You can either message me directly or just click on my About page, and there is a link there to all the resources that you can get, and it's all completely free, and I'm not building a mailing list of any kind, so you don't have to hand over all your information, but you would need to sign up to Substack though to get the download. That's the only proviso, but then you can download it and close your account. So yeah, that is it. I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know how, what came up for you. Did you feel the grounding nature of the strength of the mountains? Did the doodles relax you? Did the music relax you? Is there anything that you would have preferred? Do let me know. You can either message me here or wherever you find me. And all that to say is thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Friday, the rest of your spring equinox, and the rest of your weekend. And just, acknowledge the fact that you've created this little pocket of peace for yourself, this little corner of creativity. And hopefully your nervous system is thanking you as well, because I know that this is very good for the body and the soul. So there you go. Great. Thank you so much. Great, CJ. Extremely relaxing. Perfect guidance. And great music. Good. It is a good playlist. Thank you very much, Florgy. Amazing how the patterns today fit by mountains. Yes, the lower part with greens and the higher part with rocks. That's so interesting. I didn't see that. You've just blown my mind. Okay, goosebumps. Thank you so much. Wow. Love that, love that, love that. Wow. Okay. That's made me even happier. Thank you, Florgy. Great. Lovely. I'm so glad that the intention is that this is calm creativity, and it looks like that has hit the mark. So thank you so much for joining me. The event for next week, same time, same place, should be going live. I'm hoping on the back end that Insight Timer allows it to go live. We just had a technical glitch this week, hence this one was a little bit late, but I have created it. And next week we'll be back on the alphabet series. So we will be doing the letter E, I believe. So hopefully you can join us. If you can't, then there will be a replay of this live session over on my YouTube channel. Again, link in my teacher profile. And that's all there is to say. Have yourselves a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.